Welcome back to the Oldham Show, guys. And today it's officially episode 2. We're out of the intro episodes. We're out of the get to know each other stage. We're actually getting to get into the thick of it. Oh my gosh, I sound like KSI. But anyways, we're actually going to be talking about sports the whole time. No intro stuff. I'm really excited for it. From here and this point on, sports only. And I'm really excited. If you are watching on YouTube, you'll notice I got some new headphones. I wouldn't say new because they're like $20, but my other headphones decided not to work on me today, and I think they're broken. So I had to go to Target, buy me some $20 headphones, Sony headphones. So it'll be working it for the next like 2 months maybe before I can purchase a new one. So we'll see how they do. They're working actually pretty good right now. But yeah, that's happening, and I can't wait for this episode. I've been looking forward to it all month. The Super Bowl happened. NFL offseason is officially here. We have to wait another 200 days for NFL to come around again. Really sad. Cowboys are winning it next year. That's my prediction. Always. Cowboys will win it next year. But yeah, Super Bowl happened. Watched that. That was really okay. It was okay. But we'll be talking about the Super Bowl this episode. The Winter Olympics in Milan just finished up, and those were really good. I watched a good chunk of the Olympics, a little bit of every single sport. It was really good. We'll talk about that. And then the main purpose of this episode is we're going to be talking MLB. Spring training is officially here, and the wait has felt too long because I need a baseball to get here. A lot of people need a baseball to get here. To get into the February gap, March gap. I know March Madness is right there. That is like a couple days, couple weeks, but we need MLB to get here, and I can't wait. If you're watching me on YouTube, I'm wearing my Astros gear, Astros hat, Astros hoodie. So I cannot wait for baseball to get started. But yeah, I'm not going to cover the Super Bowl that much just because, one, it was a couple weeks ago. No one's talking about it that much anymore. And secondly, it was kind of a bad game. I mean, it was over since halftime. Both quarterbacks, especially Drake May, were performing poorly. And Kenneth Walker got Super Bowl MVP. In my opinion, Jason Myers got robbed the Super Bowl MVP. He scored a total of 17 points in the Super Bowl, and you don't win Super Bowl MVP. 5 field goals with such a Super Bowl record, plus 2 extra points is 17 points, more than the New England Patriots scored the whole game. Respect my boy Jason Myers. He needs to be Super Bowl MVP. I don't know if they can change it now. They won't, but he needed to be Super Bowl MVP. Not saying that Kenneth Walker had a bad game. He had some really good runs, some good 10-yard runs, but Jason Myers, get my boy Super Bowl MVP. He deserved it. And I said it episode 1. Defense wins championships, and guess what we saw out of the Seattle Seahawks defense? They dominated the line of scrimmage and prevented Drake May from going crazy in the game. And when I mean crazy, like dropping nukes out of the sky, and they prevented that. They contained Drake May the whole game, wouldn't let him score until I think it was like the 4th quarter or something. Yeah, defense wins championships. And I said it last episode, if the Patriots didn't make this a high-scoring game and get off to a fast start, they were going to lose. Here we are, the final score being 29-13. The Patriots did not come out of the locker room ready. Seattle's defense was highly underrated throughout the whole season. The team was underrated throughout the whole season until basically the NFC Championship game. No one really talked about them. They're like, oh, maybe they'll fizzle out because of the Sam Darnold seeing ghost things. But, I mean, I'm not saying I had faith because I'm a Cowboys fan and I can't really say that. But, no, the Seattle Seahawks deserved to be the Super Bowl champions this year. Anyone else who's saying that is just completely wrong. And honestly, Patriots, I mean, they're a good team. I can see them coming back to the Super Bowl at some point. But at the end of the day, I don't think they deserve to be in the Super Bowl. It should have been the Broncos. Even in Bo Nixless or not, they should have been in the Super Bowl. It's just a very unfortunate circumstance they were in, especially that AFC Championship game. What do you do at that point? I mean, it's just Patriots didn't deserve to be it. I feel like another team out of the AFC could have represented them better than the New England Patriots. I say that, and then like I bought like a Drake May rookie card earlier this week, so I need Drake May to win like a Super Bowl. I think it's though, you know. But yeah, I can see the Patriots coming back to the Super Bowl at some point. But right now, the Patriots have some question marks they need to deal with. They need to actually get some wide receivers, maybe develop the O-line a little bit better. But yeah, they need to figure some things out if they want to come back to the Super Bowl and actually win. But Seattle, congratulations to them. Congratulations to them being Super Bowl 60 champions. And yeah, well-deserved Super Bowl. So yeah, Super Bowl is, I mean, I didn't watch the halftime show, not because of like anything like political or anything, but I just didn't watch it because I don't really care either halftime shows. But yeah, Bad Bunny still had more yards total running around the field than the New England Patriots did all game. I'm pretty sure. So that's all you need to know. But yeah, Super Bowl. But let's move on. The Milan Winter Olympics just wrapped up on February the 22nd, Sunday, and the Winter Olympics weren't really talked that much because they were overshadowed by the Super Bowl because the start date was like on Super Bowl weekend. No one really talked about it until afterwards. But the Winter Olympics are really cool. And I'm not saying that the Winter Olympics are better than the Summer Games. I 100% agree that the Summer Games are better than the Winter Games. But it's still cool to watch. I mean, some of my favorite sports to watch within the Winter Games are the half pipe, snowboard, and skis. It's just really cool, both women's and men's. It's just the amount of I don't know how you just. I mean, I guess you know how to decide if you're good at it or not, but it's just crazy how like what is it like a 20-foot like hill or whatever, and then you go an extra 15 feet in the air, do some crazy 360 scopes or whatever within the air, and then you end up winning like gold for that for your country. I mean, that's really cool. Honestly, that might be my favorite. If bobsledding didn't exist, if the skeleton did exist, I like those high speed racing where you go on the track, and that's really cool to watch. The I think the U.S. And the two women bobsled got gold in that. I think I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, the bobsled and skeleton is fun to watch. For any of you figure skating fans out there, I didn't watch much figure skating. I didn't really care for that. But like, I forgot what sport it was called. But the one where you like go down the hill, jump off, and then you just like float. That might be the scariest one, more than like the skeleton or bobsled where you're going like 80 miles an hour on the ice. But that one specifically, how do you know you're good at that? Do you like go one day and it'd be like, hey, what if I like go down a steep hill, jump off a ramp, and then proceed to go 100 feet down that hill and maybe snap your leg? Like, I don't know how you determine how you're good at that or not, but yeah, I don't know. That's a cool sport. But the main focus, at least on the United States side, was hockey. And yeah, we all saw what happened in the international tournament with like Sweden, Finland, US, and Canada. If you watched the fights and everything, that was really cool. We saw that, and the whole world wanted a US Canada finals. And man, God treated us perfectly, and his gracious love showed us that we got a US versus Canada final. And not just the men's, we also had the women's as well. So that was really cool. Before we get into the final matchups, just to see how we got there, the U.S. women's hockey team, I'm pretty sure they won all their preliminary games to like Finland, Czech, the Swiss, and to Canada, I'm pretty sure. And then their gold game versus Canada, they dominated, and they took the gold home for the USA. So we're 1-0 in hockey. And then the men's hockey, they not struggled in the preliminary round, but they didn't have as much success as the women did. They still won all their games to like Latvia, Germany, and Denmark and those teams. And then there was a tough path, but yeah. So the game was happening Sunday morning, February 22nd, the last day of the Olympics. And I only watched part of this game because I had church, but man, it was intense. I mean, obviously you can't have fights and stuff or like brawls during the game because you can get sued for that during the Olympics, which is completely fair. I don't mind that. But like if this was like any other tournament, like imagine like in the NHL All-Star game we had a Canada versus US game, there would definitely be fights going on, especially what happened the first go around. So I would have loved to seen that, but obviously because it's the Olympics we can't. I don't mind, but it would have been really cool. But yeah, it was a really neck and neck game the whole time. Both goalies were doing great, both for Canada and the U.S. It was just a great job all around. But at the end of the day, we all know who's better. The United States of America came out on top, 1-2-1 in overtime. And yeah, apparently the USA is better at hockey in Canada, and hockey is an American sport now. So I mean, what do you gotta say, Canada? I mean, we love y'all, but you're in great consideration to be our 51st state because hockey is now an American sport. Donald Trump would agree. So yeah, great Olympics all around. Just the final totals real quick, the Olympic count. Norway had the most medals. I mean, I'm not surprised by that. Norway should be dominating the Winter Olympics. They had what is that? 41 trophies, gold medals, not gold medals, but medals in total. I'm pretty sure they broke their own record for the most gold medals within an Winter Olympic. So that was cool. The USA did get second with 33 total medals, and then Italy, the host country, did get in the podium in third place with 30 total medals. But yeah, great Winter Olympics all around. It was fun to watch all the events, and we can't wait for 2030 in the French Alps. So we can't wait for that. But we have LA 28 to look forward to, and boy, that's one's going to be interesting on so many levels, and I can't wait for that. So since we got both the Super Bowl and the Winter Olympics out of the way, I can't wait to talk about some baseball. I have been waiting for this so long. And I know I've been only doing 2 episodes, but I've been waiting since November after that fire of a World Series between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Los Angeles Dodgers, even though the Dodgers ended up winning, and that was really depressing. But it was still probably the best World Series we've seen this century. And I don't think most people would agree with me on that. And it was a great World Series, and I can't wait for baseball to get started up. So spring training has officially started. All the teams are either in Surprise, Arizona for the Cactus League and the Grapefruit League in Florida. I don't know where specifically in Florida. I can't remember right now at the top of my head, but it's in Florida. So yeah, that's going on right now. We're just seeing who within every AAA affiliate organization is going to move up to the big leagues and get their roster set for opening day, which is March 25th, which in my humble opinion, I think opening day should start in April because it conflicts with March Madness. And yes, I love baseball over college basketball any day of the week, but I don't know. It's just the March Madness is so fun. I can't have baseball and March Madness going on. Just wait till April 1st or 2nd till after then so I can enjoy some baseball perfectly. But yeah, March 25th is one game that day. Technically, it's opening day because it is the start of baseball, but it's only one game going on. It's between the New York Yankees and the San Francisco Giants. That's going to be a good game. Can't wait for that. But right now, during spring training, I just have some takes. We're just going to talk about my Astros just for like a second. But then overall, what does the MLB need to do to improve their league? We talk about some underrated, overrated teams within the leagues. But yeah, let's go. So just importantly, the Dodgers most recently won the World Series against the Toronto Blue Jays in a 7-game series, which that Game 7, oh my goodness, you cannot ask for a better Game 7. Even if you're a Blue Jays fan and you lost, you can't say that was a bad game because cinematically that was perfect. But we go into the 2026 season with the big question, will the Dodgers three-peat? And I can't really say no to that because I don't see right now a team beating the Dodgers right now. I mean, the Dodgers are only getting better and will continue to get better. I mean, this offseason, they got the best closer in baseball. They got one of the best right fielders in Kyle Tucker. So I don't see the LA Dodger train slowing down anytime soon, which is unfortunate as an Astros fan and literally any other MLB fan. Which, speaking of the Dodgers, we'll talk about the salary cap and labor strikes that are going on. In 2027, contracts between their owners, players, and employees will be going around, and I'm absolutely going to believe that they're going to go on strike. I mean, the MLB needs to fix a lot of things within their organization, and they need to place a salary cap on every team. I mean, the NBA has fallen for it, the NFL has fallen for it, and it has worked. I mean, no one has complained about, oh, well, there's a salary cap in place, so we can't spend all the money in the world. Because if that was the case, in the NFL, for example, you would have the Cowboys splurging all their billions of dollars on these players and having no regrets, and the NFL not doing anything about it. Granted, that's not saying that the Cowboys would win it because Jerry Jones is still the owner, but that's just a perfect example of why the MLB needs to put in place a salary cap, because you have teams like the Dodgers that are building super teams, and they need to be stopped. I mean, I'm not just saying this as an Astros fan, but the Dodgers are becoming OP, and it's getting really scary. I don't want this to happen. So, yeah, MLB definitely 100% needs a salary cap sooner rather than later. Otherwise, the MLB will slowly go down the toilet drain. And I don't really want that to happen because baseball is most likely and is my favorite sport to watch. So yeah, I really don't want that. So going to the next, we're going to talk about the most underrated teams right now that I think could have a best shot of winning the World Series, and I just think that are going to improve in next season that no one's really talking about. So firstly, we're going to start in the American League, and my team this year to like watch out for is the Kansas City Royals. I mean, what they were 2 games away from missing a wild card last year, and honestly, they should have made the playoffs. I think they would have had a great run in the playoffs. Their elite infield is so underrated. I mean, you have Bobby Witt Jr., you have Jonathan India, and Mikael Garcia that are all solid defensemen within the infield, and especially Bobby Witt. They can light up their bats easily. They can light up the scoreboard, and they can compete with almost any team in the league. And I believe that they can go for a run in the World Series, and that they're my underrated team, the AL. Also, their starting pitching is pretty decent, and it's not special. I mean, no one's really talking about the Kansas City Royals starting pitching, but you got guys like Cole Reagans and Seth Lugo that are pretty not average, but just above average. I mean, they can get you the job done. They can go 6 innings and they can do well for you. But an overrated team right now in the AL is the New York Yankees. I mean, sometimes they're really good. I mean, we saw in 2024 they made the World Series, lost to the Dodgers, but I just think they're overrated, man. I mean, obviously they have a pretty good lineup with Aaron Judge and crew, but I just don't think they're going to go that far. And honestly, with how stacked the AL East is, I would not be surprised if they miss the playoffs going in this season. I mean, the Yankees are just a big question mark. They can either do really good at home and really good away, or they can not go on 12-game losing streaks, and everyone would be scratching their heads like, what is going on with the New York Yankees? And I mean, like, we'll just see what happens. They're my overrated team. I wouldn't expect for them this much this season. But now going on into the NL side of things, the National League, my underrated team is the Atlanta Braves. And obviously, since 2021, when they won the World Series, they've traded away players. Example, Freddie Freeman, even though his agent didn't tell him the Braves offered him a contract, so he went to the Dodgers. We're not going to talk about that. That's a longer conversation. But yeah, the Braves have been trading away players ever since 2021, and they've kind of been not irrelevant in baseball, but just no one's really said, oh, that's a team I think it could have a playoff run. And especially in a stacked NL, which I think the NL is better than the AL. Yeah, in a stacked NL, it's hard for the Braves right now to come out of the NL. But I do believe if they're healthy, they can do some damage, get a wild card spot, and potentially make the NLCS. Will I think they have a good shot to win the World Series? Probably not, because there's a team named the Los Angeles Dodgers that are in the NL. But yeah, I just think that the Braves have a really good shot. They have a really strong outfield in Acuna and Michael Harris III, and they have a pretty solid bullpen with Mike Yastrzemski. Mike Yastrzemski's in the outfield. Excuse me. Yeah, that strong outfield, and then a solid bullpen in Robert Suarez and Dylan Lee. I just think no one's really talking about them, and I think that they could make the NLCS and do some damage, and they could maybe make a shock to the Dodgers to contend for that World Series. But I just don't see anyone but the Dodgers coming out of the NL this season. I mean, who else can predict an NL team? If you can name an NL team besides the Los Angeles Dodgers that's coming out of the NL and competing for a World Series, you can type it in the comments on Spotify or YouTube. But I just really cannot see. The Dodgers are a solid team. But the MLB season I'm looking forward to it. My Astros, dude, we're in such a weird spot, man. Our outfield is such a big question mark. Our management is so bad. We need to figure out a lot of things. But no, it's just the Astros need to figure a lot of things out, and don't even get me started with that. Yeah, MLB season, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great season. I will be definitely going to a bunch of games. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I personally like talking sports with y'all all the time. MLB, Winter Olympics, Super Bowl, whatever. I mean, it was a great episode today. And on the sports calendar, we have a lot to look forward to. We have March Madness, which is always exciting. Probably the best tournament in like major sports of all time. We have MLB opening day, which is great. And then the Masters, that's always exciting to watch. We just have a lot to look forward to on the sports calendar headed to the spring and the summer. I just can't wait to talk more sports. I can't wait for episode 3. And just before we end this episode today, a friend asked me this question the other day, and I was just saying, like, let's put this question in the episode and to see what y'all's opinions are. If y'all are watching on YouTube, y'all can go ahead and type this down in the comments. But if your friend or someone random offered you full access, front row seats, free tickets to 3 sporting events, what would you do and where would you go? So my 3 are obviously the Super Bowl front row seats. That always is great. World Cup final game, just because like the significance of it. I'm like, if your friend comes up to you and say, "Hey, what did you do this weekend?" "Oh, I went to the World Cup final in New York." "Oh, that's all." Yeah, that's insane, and I would do that. And then thirdly, the Masters. I mean, the Masters holds a special place in my heart. I love golf, and it's just one. It's more bang for your buck. You get to go all 4 days. You get all the amenities, and you get all the perks. And then you get to watch some really good athletes from around the world compete for the Masters green jacket. And it's just a really fun tournament to watch. A lot of people enjoy it, even if you don't like golf. I know a lot of people who don't like golf or don't play golf and watch the Masters because it's like, oh, this is a significant tournament that a lot of people watch, and it's really cool. So those are my top 3. If y'all are listening on Spotify, comment there. On YouTube, comment there. I'll try to get my YouTube channel more out, and then on the Other Side podcast, on the not Other Side podcast because that's not a name. Just not on YouTube Music and Spotify. I will definitely get more of these podcasts out on other platforms like Amazon Music and Apple Podcasts. But I just having a little bit of trouble right now, so I'll figure that out down the road. But yeah, just to wrap up today's episode, MLB, Winter Olympics, Super Bowl, you name it, we got it here on the Oldham Show. Thanks for listening.